We're going on an adventure. We were gonna go into actual downtown Atlanta, but now we're not doing that because
it's rush hour.
It's rush hour and we don't want to drive that far. So we're going to downtown Decatur instead because we want things to do.
Fun fact, downtown Decatur is where I decided to quit my first job.
What was your first job, Sarah?
Well, first real job. It was I worked as a canvasser for the Human Rights Campaign. And this is a PSA. Don't work for the Human Rights Campaign. That's just the beginning of the story. So the summer after freshman year, for some reason I was convinced that I needed to get an internship. And so I saw this thing about being a canvasser for the Human Rights Campaign. At the time I was still very much trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. So I was like, ooh, this could be a cool opportunity. I can be doing some good in the world. I can live in Atlanta. This sounds great. I got the job. They promised me like $16 an hour. And I got there and they were like, psych, it's $9 an hour. And at that time, I had already moved there. So they treat you like shit, which is weird for a nonprofit.
Yeah, nice mission, poor execution.
Yeah, apparently that's a big thing with like canvassing for NGOs.
Yeah.
They just treat their canvassers like shit. Alright, this is the Human Rights Campaign sticker, the place I canvassed for, which is apt because they are trash. Alright, so the wildest story I have from interacting with a person was I met this dude and was like, oh, hi, can I talk to you about gay rights? And he was like, I work in gay porn, so yes. And so that's where I really realized my like training was kicking in, because my reaction was just like, great, so I can tell you all about the cause of the Human Rights Campaign. And so I gave him like my spiel. And then he was like, dude, I love your cause and everything, but I have like $5 that I need to last for 2 more weeks, so I can't help you. And I was like, that is extremely valid. Good luck with that.
So I guess what we learned then is that gay porn does not, in fact, pay very well.
Yes, we did learn that. Also that most people I tell this story to ask me like what his name is and if I looked him up or like, his like, porn name or whatever.
And did you?
I did not, because when I meet a stranger on the street, I don't tend to ask them personal questions like that. So the other wild story I have was, this was in Midtown, I think, like right by Peachtree Center. This was also like my 3rd day or something, and so I was just there like not knowing how to handle it. And I started talking to this dude and was like, oh, blah, blah, my whole spiel about gay rights and donating. And he was like, listen, people should be able to hire who they want. And started talking about like, oh, like if I really like a dude and he's gay but he hasn't been doing super well lately, I should still be allowed to fire him. And I was like, oh, okay, that's like not all what we're talking about though. And then he kept going. I was like, oh, like what if this dude is having like a really hard time lately? Like let's say his wife left him for some like guy Enrique Suave, which I was like, this is getting some kind of racial undertones, please go away. But he keeps going. No, people would do shit like that all the time. Like they'd be like, oh, I support gay rights, and then start like ranting about Black Lives Matter, and it's like, why are you doing this right now? The other part of this job is that all of my bosses were fucking each other. So there was like one girl who was basically acting as our boss, even though she was like not technically had that job position. And she was sleeping with this girl I worked with. They were actually a pretty nice couple. And then 2 of our like official bosses were sleeping together. One of them was sleeping with their boss like above them. That boss was also sleeping with the person above them. And I'm pretty sure that person was also sleeping with the person above them.
If that's true, that is the wildest.
I don't know, I was there like 2 weeks, and some of the girls took me out for like a dinner or something, because they were like, oh my god, you're new, blah blah. And then I got filled in on all the gossip, and I was like, holy fuck, how were they all sleeping together?
But we still support equal rights.
We support gay rights, but we also support paying canvassers more than a minimum wage and firing them if they don't get enough donations.
Yeah. No, we support not firing them.
Yeah.
If they don't get enough donations. Yeah.
You got what I meant.
I did get what you meant. Basically, we support human rights. We don't necessarily support the Human Rights Campaign.
Yeah. So I had this one girl who was willing to donate $1 anonymously. And so she kept going on about how like, oh, she really supports gay rights and blah, blah. but she doesn't want to be on some list. And I was like, we can take anonymous donations, but like it looks sketchy if you get too many. But $1 anonymously ain't shit. And she wasted so much of my time just being like, I really support gay rights and telling me about all the gay people she knows. I was like, it was a terrible job.
I have gay friends, I promise.
Yeah, it was really weird.
So we're both in the same field. We're both in comp sci. This is in no way diminishing Sarah's accomplishments. But while she was telling me stories about this terrible job, I was out in Chicago working for Google. It was honestly a great experience. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm sorry you had to go through your experience, you know. I tried to get you a job at Google, though, and you didn't listen to me, so.
I applied. They didn't get back to me.
Oh, that's true. Never mind.
Like shit. But I had big dreams of helping people.